That's a cool chord. Yeah, welcome to the Corona lessons. Here goes my son on his tractor. Yeah, it's volume 20. It's sort of a landmark number. Hope you guys are doing all right. Today's not the day I'm going to pick the winners. I think I'm going to do it tomorrow. But man, there's some great videos coming in. You guys are doing so cool. Such good ideas and interesting, creative things y'all are doing. I'll have to think another fun thing to do after this. I don't know what it'll be. But yeah, you know, I did a video a while back before I started the Corona lessons about, it was called Sunday Morning Bender Blues. I had a lot of people ask me about that, and it was this guitar that I used. Duesenberg Double Cat with the multi-benders. Cool guitar. And man, I'll tell you what happened. Okay, it was rewind back to 2007. Okay, I was on the road with Faith Hill, I remember, and that's when I got this guitar. And you know, when you're on the road, you've got plenty of time to sit idly in your hotel room with nothing but time and practice, and that's exactly what I did. I got this guitar with these benders on it, and there is a massive learning curve attached to this thing. It is way, way, way harder than it looks. So, you know, I had time. I had a little practice amp, and I would just sit in the hotel and just goof with this thing, and I worked up all kind of, you know, little things you could do with this. The problem is with this guitar, you know, these are out there. You can find them. I think they still make them. But you can put these bending levers on any string you like. You could put 6 of them on the guitar if you wanted. And they're based on the old Bigsby palm pedal from the 60s, except they're better because you can swing them out of the way when you don't want to use them. Like you can't do that with the old palm pedals, right? So you could set it to bend up as much as you like. It could be a half step, a whole step. I've always done it a whole step up on the G, a whole step up on the B. Who's crying up there? I have no idea. But anyway, you can do so much cool stuff with this, all right? Now, the problem is when you first get one of these, the learning curve is just crazy. I mean, unless you're Dean Parks. I showed this guitar to Dean Parks, and he had some cool stuff worked up in the first couple hours. I mean, you guys are a freak. But most mortals will have trouble with this because the arms get caught up on each other, and they'll get stuck on each other, and they'll start being out of tune and stuff. But it's really hard. You got to develop a technique to push your hands around to make sure they don't get caught up on each other. Okay, so here's what I do. Hey guys, I'm doing a video. Keep it down. So, like for example, like if you want to push the B up without hitting the G, you kind of have to push your hand around. It's easier to hit them both down, right? Look at all this cool stuff you can do going up a whole step. Watch, on both strings. it's hard. I'm telling you, man, these things are cool, but you really got to get used to using them, right? What I like about this bender system is that it sounds like the changer on it actually sounds really good. Some beat bender guitars kind of zizz out when you try to bend. They don't sound right, but the benders are real smooth sounding on this. And I also like the fact that you can play it without, in a very sneaky way where no one even knows what you're doing. You're not like making all these body contortions like with a strap bender and all that, you know. I like the sneakiness of it. I think it's very cool. So it creates chord possibilities that are absolutely impossible with your fingers. I mean, absolutely impossible. I've had this for a long time, and I've goofed with this guitar a lot. I changed the pickup in the neck. I put a Firebird pickup in there. Wow, sorry, that's loud. This bridge pickup is the original pickup. I took a lot of the hardware off of it and stuff, things that were in the way. I took the pickguard off, kind of messed with it, cut the pickguard down. You know, I've had this forever. But this is a very cool guitar, and I'd like to thank Nathan at Duesenberg for hooking me up with this many years ago. Okay, so you know, gear, the subject of gear, right? A lot of people have asked me to talk about gear and you know, getting tones and stuff in the studio and guitar setup videos and stuff like that. I'm reluctant to talk about any of that. I eventually will, I suppose, but here's why. I feel like I'm gonna sound like an old guy here, but I feel like gear is way too overemphasized in the guitar community. Gear is definitely important. I'm as much of a gear nerd as anyone. I love vintage guitars. I love all guitars. I love goofing with stuff, but I do feel like people place way too much emphasis on that kind of stuff. What I'm trying to talk about in my lessons here is playing the guitar, okay? A good guitar player, as we all know, can take any guitar, any pedal, any amp and make it work. You know, the oldest saying in the book, tone is in the fingers. You know, we've heard it a million times. I'm actually kind of sick of that saying, but it's the truth, man. And, you know, I think about this sometimes, like these young cats that are trying to learn how to play guitar now. I think, see, when I was a kid, there was like 4 companies that made pedals. There was Boss, Electro-Harmonix, MXR, DOD. That was pretty much it, right? And you had, you know, you could choose from those, and there was some good stuff in there, Ibanez. But now, someone told me that there's over 1,500 active pedal making companies right now. It may be even more than that, and it's ludicrous. I mean, how is a person supposed to choose? Like a young guy who's like reading all these forums and stuff on the internet trying to decide what to buy, and they don't have a lot of dough to work with. How are you going to decide what to get? I mean, all the way from the pick you use, to the strings, to the pickups, to the pots, to the guitar, to the jack, to the pedals, to the cables, to the amp, to the tubes, to the speakers, to the mics. There's so many variables along the chain for guitar players. And each one of those variables, there's thousands of choices. It's total option anxiety. It's crazy. It's too much. I mean, you'll notice that a lot of the great players end up using the same gear. Slight different variations of the same gear, but there's a reason why, because it works. Okay, I had a music store for 3 years when I retired from the session scene because I was so burned out and fried a few years back. I'm back now, but I quit, man. I got so burned out from just working too much that I took a couple years off there, and I had a cool little music store, and we would get so many pedals in there. I mean, people would just bring in boxes of pedals to sell. It was like a used consignment store, And at first I was like, oh, cool, all these pedals. And after a while, it got to the point where I didn't even want to try any of them anymore because there was just so many. And 99% of them sounded terrible. I mean, it's just, there's not a lot of them that really work, at least to me, okay? But boy, there sure is a lot to choose from. And that goes for everything. Guitars, pickups. It's like, we don't need all these options, but everybody with a soldering iron has a boutique amp company, and it's like, it's cool because there's lots of options and choices, but it's like a lot of people just doing the same thing over and over and over. It's like, how many boost pedals do we really need? The MXR micro amp was invented in 1975 and it still works just fine. So, that's old guy stuff. I'm not saying don't explore and don't check out what's out there, but don't get too caught up in it. That's the thing, man. Spend the time you're about to spend hours scouring the internet, looking at gear, practicing, play. Don't buy more gear. Some of my friends that are watching this are probably going to laugh because they know what a gear nerd I am, but I also practice a lot. And I feel like that's what we all need to get to, okay? All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed this. I'll see y'all soon. Take care.